Welcome to another episode of Manatee Mode Gaming. I am Mifu, that is,
I'm Flashbang.
and we are going to do a very special episode today. Our second episode, we're going to do the top 5 horror games. This is kind of in the spirit of us playing Concluse. So what we're going to do is we have a list that's already been thrown up and created. We'll include the link in the description below. We're just going to read the top 5. And then go over whether we agree with that decision, and then we're gonna go over our list or one at a time. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump right in there. This list at number 5 of all the scary games they chose was Silent Hill 2.
How do you feel about that? I mean,
I think I'll reveal that later. How I feel about that.
Okay.
I think it's one of the best horror games ever made. But once again, this is a very opinionated show. If you disagree with us, let us know in the comments below what your top 5 is, and we can tell you how wrong you are.
Okay. All right. Well, with that said, we'll finish reading this list, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. What do you about Silent Hill 2? What do you think it should be?
Number 5. I kind of looked at this list before and from what I've seen in the other games, and this is Game Radar, by the way. We got it from their website. Silent Hill 2 was good. I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Obviously not my favorite Silent Hill game, but it deserves, I don't know if number 5 is where it needs to be at. I think there's better Silent Hills than Silent Hill 2. So maybe in the top 10, but not number 5. I think something else should be ranked a little higher than Silent Hill 2. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
Number 4 is PT. If y'all don't know about this, it actually stands for Playable Teaser, and it was the playable teaser for Silent Hills, the new one that was coming out, being made by Kojima, the spearhead of games like Metal Gear Solid. Actually, Kojima, and it was Guillermo del Toro. They were working together with Norman Reedus to bring up a Silent Hills game, and PT. That was talk about horror.
Phenomenal.
That was incredible. I remember a scene where they utilized the PlayStation 4's built-in speaker system, right? And you were holding, or you could have a headset on, and you would be told not to look behind you, but you would hear breathing behind you. And of course, if you turned around, it was the biggest jump scare ever. I still have it on the PS4. We might play it for you guys, actually.
Yeah.
So you can hear us scream. You gotta be quiet. I got a sleeping baby. So, what do you think? Number 4 should be higher?
It should definitely be higher. That's one of the scariest demos. And the thing is PT itself is a game. I mean,
a lot of secrets. Yeah, it's hard to beat.
The first time we played, it took us hours to beat it.
Yeah.
And then we finally, I think we ended up having to look up on how to beat it because we got stuck in a loop.
I don't think there was a definite way to beat it. There was just a lot of theories. I mean, there was a definite way to beat it, but for a long time it was just, you should do this. You gotta take 3 steps. Hear 3 bells or something like that.
Yeah, and phone ring. Yeah, it just definitely should be ranked higher in my opinion.
But PT, let's just take a minute and just have a moment of silence for the game that should have been. You guys have already figured out I'm a huge Silent Hill fan, so when this game was canned after the whole Kojima incident, if you don't know it, you should look it up. They did Kojima wrong. But Kojima is making Death Stranding, a game that we still have no idea about. We actually saw that at E3. Well, that's another episode. We'll talk about E3 and how fun that was. But
I still think he'll make another Silent Hill. I think if Sony
doesn't have the rights to it, man.
If Sony is smart, they'll capitalize off his genius, and they'll make a horror game. Death Stranding to me doesn't seem like it's going to be much of a... It's going to be creepy, but it's not going to...
Number 3 on their list is Alien Isolation, and honestly, I'll be honest, I haven't played this one. So I don't really have an opinion on where it should be. It's not in my top 5. I'll give you that. Spoiler alert right now. It is definitely not in my top 5. I don't think it belongs in anyone's top 5. But then again, I'm biased because I haven't played it, so.
I mean, I watched some gameplay of it, and it looks good. To me, I think it's one of those games that you're going to have to play in order to, from what I've seen of it, it looks scary. I mean, it's an alien game. I mean,
it's an aliens game. Most of the movies after the first two are garbage.
That's true, but
almost every Alien versus Predator is garbage.
Let's try. I mean, I don't think it needs to be number 3. I think there's other games.
I think it should be. I don't think it should be on the list.
Okay.
But once again, haven't played it. Number 2, Layers of Fear. Now, this is a game that I've wanted to play for a long, long time. He told me about it. We were gonna play it back when we did Manatee Gaming on Twitch. Apparently, he just dropped something.
That's okay though.
Kind of threw the groove off. But anyway, Layers of Fear. One of the other games we haven't played. We need to play it. I think in October, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some funds together and we're gonna buy some of these horror games that we haven't played. In October, being month of Halloween, I think we're gonna play a lot of horror games and might focus on horror on October. But have you played Layers of Fear?
I have not. I've seen again. It's just, and the thing is with this list, there's quite a few games we just haven't played. We're very much a victim of we'll start playing a game and then a new game comes out and captures our attention and we'll just kind of drift off on that. But it's definitely a game. I've seen some gameplay of it and it looks really good. It looks really creepy. It kind of reminds me a lot of maybe Amnesia.
I haven't played Amnesia.
I started playing Amnesia and I had to stop because I got scared. It's very much a game I don't want to play by myself. So
that's the only way to play a horror game, by yourself. Number 1 on their list is on the next page. Thank God for fast internet. Oh my gosh, another game I haven't played. I need to step up my game. Now I've actually seen a full gameplay playthrough of this. Resident Evil 7. Let's first start off. Resident Evil 6 was garbage, so it really threw the series off for me. Resident Evil 7, though, apparently was a very worthy reboot for the series.
Oh, such
definitely needed a reboot. It's one game I haven't played, but as you can see, he's excited about it. I've heard great things, seen great things. I should definitely pick that up.
I played it. I really did. I played the mess out of it. And then the DLC looked really good. I never got a chance to play the DLC, but definitely, it's worthy of a number 1 because it is a scary game. And to me, it's one of those games that I would love to play in VR, and it would only heighten it.
You would get so sick.
I mean, definitely, if you haven't played it, definitely check it out.
I'm afraid to play a game in VR. I don't want to die.
Don't want to die.
Run into a wall. The blue wall of doom.
I would say
my Halo.
Right.
Anyway.
All right. Yeah. So let's go to our list. You want me to do my number 5? Or you want
we'll do it one number at a time, and then we'll argue why we think it deserves to be there. Right. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Resident Evil 7.
Resident Evil 7. So not your number 1.
No. I have played other games, in my opinion, that have... Resident Evil, for me, the 7th one was one of those games that once you beat it, you didn't think about it. To me, when you play a good scary game, it sticks with you.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Resident Evil 7, there were some things to talk about, but it was just one of those games, I'm glad I beat it. I don't want to play it again. Because it was scary. But it just didn't have a lingering effect with me. So, number 5, definitely for me. Just because when you do play it, it's going to scare you.
Okay. My number 5, it's a Resident Evil game. I don't think it's one you've even heard of.
Really?
Resident Evil Code Veronica.
I've heard of it. That wasn't GameCube though, was it?
I think it was originally on Dreamcast, and then it was remade on the PS2.
I never played it though.
But anyways, Code Veronica, I loved that game. Just the right amount of horror, right amount of fun. It was just a good game to me. A good, solid game. Jump scares. Of course, it's a Resident Evil, so survival horror is just right. That's my genre, survival horror. I love it. Beautiful game, awesome monsters, a lot of jump scares. So that takes my number 5 slot.
All right, number 5. I can't really argue with you there because I've never played it. So my number 4 is Outlast.
Oh yeah,
Outlast scared the mess out of me. There were a lot of jump scares, and it was very much one of those games that once your flashlight went out, you didn't know what the hell was fixing to happen.
a lot of penises in that game.
A lot of penises. But it was very much... That game stuck with me a little while.
Yeah.
And it's very much one that I want to play again, but at the same time, I know how scary it is. One of my favorite YouTube videos was the one where he pulls up
the alternate ending,
and he looks up and he sees something in the mirror or in the window, and he goes nope, and he gets right back in the Jeep and backs up. It was very much one of those things that if you played it, you understood it.
That would be us if we were pulling up to a mental hospital and saw something like that, a shadow. Brian and I would get in the car and leave. I don't even think we would say no. We would just leave.
Yeah, there would be an unspoken. Yeah.
My number 4 is also Outlast.
Is it really?
It
awesome.
Is. So important to know, we didn't convey our list at all. So number 4 is Outlast, and like you said, I don't think that was when we played together, but wait, is that when we played together?
Yeah, we played it together because we both screamed at some of the stuff.
Yeah, that game was good. It was more on the horror end of things. Gameplay was pretty straightforward. You just had to run away from them, escape them, essentially.
That was a nervous sweat game. Like, you sweat a lot.
Yeah, it was very intense game. Yeah. So number 3. What's your number 3?
Number 3.
Here, I think this is where it's gonna start becoming different.
Silent Hill 4.
Silent Hill 4. Okay. You know that game wasn't originally supposed to be a Silent Hill.
Yeah, I know, but
so your argument about it being the best Silent Hill is it's not, but wasn't supposed to be.
It doesn't matter. It's a Konami game, and it's Silent Hill 4. That was the name of the game, so it's supposed to be. For me, it was honestly the first Silent Hill that I played and beat, and It kind of branched out from the other Silent Hills, in my opinion. Silent Hill 1 had a great story, but it was to me, it was very much horror. Like, it was just straight, I'm going to scare the shit out of you. 2 was good, but 4 to me kind of messed with your mind a little bit. Like, you had to look through the keyhole, and then you had the ghost that would follow you into your room, and you had to light the candles to do this, and then you spied on your roommate, or not your roommate, but the next door neighbor. And to me, it was just, it was very much one of those games that you were just like, whoa. And then in the water tower prison where you fought the two-headed, scared the shit out of me. But
that weird noise,
right? But
that wasn't the noise. It was just me making.
Yeah, just close. We'll give it to you. But Silent Hill 4 to me was just such a good game, and it was such a good way to branch out of that, Silent Hill. I guess I don't know. I can't find a word, but it just, to me, and it's still one of those games to me that no matter how many times I play it, it's enjoyable every time.
All right. My number 3 is Dead Space.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
It's mainly the first one. All of them were okay. I'll be honest, they got progressively worse. The first one was good. The second one was, it was all right. The third one was just kind of, it's a Dead Space game.
Yeah.
But the first one, man, you're running through that ship, it was intense, especially if you played it on the hardest difficulty, because one hit, you were dead. And you would hear them all around you. It was dark. The atmosphere in that game, solid gameplay too. Dead Space is a great game. If you haven't played it, you need to play it. Just stick with the plasma cutter. The first weapon you get, that's the only weapon you need. That and your feet. You just stomp. But that game, if you haven't played it, play it. Just the first one. I'll just recommend the first one.
That game to me, it's very much one. If it were made into a movie and it were done right, that would be a scary.
It would be a great movie. I think it would.
And we've seen in the past how that works with games that are made in the movies, and a bunch of them are awful. But that's another story for another time.
All right, number 2. What's your number 2?
Number 2 is PT.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. Yeah, it's one of those games where you don't know what's going to be coming around the corner, and you don't want to look around the corner. And the ghost spoiler alert, by the way, the ghost you see in this demo, yeah. And then it's just, it's still frustrating to think because it could have been such a great game.
The game that was. It should have been, but it wasn't.
To me, it had the potential to be the best Silent Hill. And granted, I know a lot of times demos, aren't necessarily the same as the game that's produced, but you suffered through it, and then once you beat it and you got to see the teaser trailer, you were like, "Oh goodness,
it's a Silent Hill game."
This is and
it never came out,
and
it's never coming out.
Yeah, so PT is my number 2, just because it's a great. It could have been such a great horror game, and it's still one of those games that you can go back and play, and it still scare you. Like we had a friend of ours playing it not too long ago, and it still had a lasting effect on him. So, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is PT.
Really?
Yes,
that's awesome.
I mean, he nailed everything on the head. PT is. I don't think you can get it anymore. It was downloaded. You could download it for free. They took it off, and then they brought the ability back to play it. Seriously, if Konami was smart, even if they don't want to have a massive monster like Kojima on it, they need to either sign the rights away so it can be made, or they need to make another Silent Hill game. Just damn it, it's been too long, and I want a Silent Hill game.
Yeah, it's coming. I think
it's not coming. It's never coming. Just Silent Hill's dead. Onimusha's dead. A lot of my favorite game franchises are dead.
Don't say that.
They're dead.
Dude, in the video game world, anything is possible.
Like firing Kojima.
I can't. Sony that was the smartest thing they ever did, was bringing him in.
Well, of course.
And even if they don't call it Silent Hill, they can call it whatever they want. They can call it Loud Mountain,
Silent Cliffs,
or something like that. If it looked good and Kojima's name's on it, I'm playing it. Like I haven't played a game that I was just disappointed in that he's produced. Not yet, anyways.
Yeah. All right.
Number 1.
So I'm gonna take a guess. I haven't seen your list, but I'm gonna say your number 1 is Fatal Frame 3. No, it isn't.
Fatal Frame was good though. All of them, right?
What else? Give me a second. Let me think. It better not be Halloween. That Halloween game.
Oh, that game was so cheesy, but I want to play it.
I don't know. What is it?
Number 1 is Resident Evil, the very first one.
The very first one. Okay.
Because that was one of the first horror games that we played. Besides, and it was just you knew this game had to be the potential to branch out to be something more. Granted, yeah, down the road sequels were awful, but it was just one of those games. It's another enjoyable game. And it's one of those things where there were a lot of jump scares in it. And I'll never forget the hallway scene where the dog popped through the window. I have never screamed so loud in my entire life. Or the scene where you're in the room and the ceiling's coming down and you can't figure out what the hell to do. It's very much a puzzle game. To me, it's just an overall classic horror game. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the ones that started, if you were to look at a family tree of horror games, Resident Evil to me would be up there with Silent Hill and then a few others, and then they just trickle down and you can just kind of see, like Concluse that we're playing, it kind of has that Silent Hill feel.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And Resident Evil to me is number 1.
Okay.
So you're number 1. Bloodborne. Is it really?
So I struggled with it because Bloodborne, I don't know if I consider that a horror game.
Really?
I don't. It didn't scare me.
It was on that list, actually.
And I disagree with it. I don't think Bloodborne is a horror game. I think it's a great game, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't put it on this list. My number one is Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill 2?
Yeah, of course it is. That is the best Silent Hill ever made. First one being the second. And then The Room. The Room was better than the third one.
Third one.
And then all the others just... The third one wasn't awful.
I just didn't like it.
It was the sequel to the first one. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What was his name? Main guy, Harry Mason. Is that because James was the second one? Harry Mason, the first one. He dies in the third one.
He does, doesn't he?
He gets killed. But anyways, yeah, Silent Hill 2. If you haven't played it, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. Don't spoil it. If you haven't played it, haven't done anything, don't spoil it. I mean, everyone knows who Pyramid Head is, right? That's in Silent Hill 2. There's just so much about that game that is just, to me, this is obviously very biased. It's just a phenomenal game. It's not the Room was good, and the ghost definitely added something to it, but the ghost can die. I did not like the ghost mechanic, and the fact that if you dropped a little doll off in your chest, your whole apartment was haunted, and you couldn't even use it. It was so stupid. But that being said, my number one is Silent Hill 2. If you haven't played any of these games, do you have an honorable mention? Ooh, did I just sneak that one up on you? You had to think about it?
There were some other games that didn't make my list that I thought were really good. Or my top 5, anyways. To do a top 20 would be tough because, it's hard to, with any game genre anyway. This is going to sound weird, but the first Left 4 Dead. Simply because it was such an intense game and it was a great multiplayer game, but that damn witch. And you would be in a horde fight with a bunch of zombies, and you would hear a witch. And of course, Matt and I here played it a lot. We'd be like, "Don't shoot the witch." And then when you're, in a horde and you're having to shoot it, and then you hear that witch scream, you knew somebody was fixing to die.
Somebody's about to get hurt.
But it was one of those games you were on the edge of your seat. And honorable mention, and it wasn't in this game, and to a lot of people it may not be considered a horror game, but the first Left 4 Dead is going to be my honorable mention.
I actually have a couple. The first is obviously the first Silent Hill. Couldn't have the second Silent Hill without the first Silent Hill.
Right.
But that's just... Silent Hill to me kind of started everything for me in survival horror. I played Resident Evil after Silent Hill, and honestly I haven't done the research to see which one came first. It doesn't really matter to me. Silent Hill was the first one that I played. Another one is Nightmare Creatures. It's technically a horror game. I guess you can call it a horror game. But that was one me and my friend played all the time. Nightmare Creatures was just old good shoot 'em up kind of horror, and it's more fun. It's more cute. I mean, because it's like Nintendo 64, PlayStation graphics. Yeah. It's only so scary. You only get so scary with those. But those are my two honorable mentions. But I think that's gonna just about do it for us tonight. Let us know in the comments if you agree, disagree. I'm pretty sure some of you are going to disagree, and we might get shunned about not playing most of those games. But we're going to make it up to you in October. We're going to play some horror games. We might pull out PT. We might pull out Layers of Fear. I definitely want to play Layers of Fear.
We need to do an Amnesia game. I'm hearing a lot of good things about it.
And we need to play Amnesia. We'll have to figure it out. But that's a little bit down the road. We have to figure out what we're going to play after Concluse.
I have a few ideas.
And another thing that I want to know, anyone watching, I don't care if you just leave a yes or no or something in the comments. Spider-Man is coming out in September. And I haven't talked to him about it, but it's been a big concern of mine. We're a smaller channel, let's be honest. I mean, small. We're getting there, but should we play Spider-Man and upload it?
I was thinking about that some too. Why the hell not, man? Let's just throw it out there. Let's just, yeah. I mean, definitely. Let's just not hold anything back. We want to play it. Let's play it.
Okay. There you have it. Someone says the September 4th.
Oh gosh, yeah, I've already requested some days off.
When September 4th rolls around, I guess we might talk about it some more. But there's a good chance we're gonna play some Spooderman for you.
Some Spooderman.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Spending it's going to be 25 minutes with us, close to 30 minutes. If you like what you saw, just drop that like. Definitely comment. Let us know what you think, and hit that subscribe. Subscribing is a beautiful thing. And just a little bit before we leave, thank you guys so much for the support already. It means a lot. We're just starting out, and I won't say the numbers. Just to you can see the numbers if you want to look, but just starting out, we did
great.
Pretty good.
We had the creator of Concluse follow us, which we really appreciate. He's given us some walkthrough. I think he produced even a video series of this game, so definitely go check him out. It's been awesome. It's been a good few days. We've been on what,
a week
now, yeah. So definitely it's been exciting.
But we'll keep the love coming, guys, and thank you guys so much. You all have a good night, and we will see you
next time.
I gotta find the button.